Alright, here we go. We are live. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Chris. This is my channel, We Love Comics. Sorry for the little delay, but if you know anything about Google and the updates for your computer, it seems like every time they update to quote-unquote improve everything, it makes it worse. So I had to restart my computer to get this actually functioning. So, ladies and gentlemen, today we're going to have two videos. This one, obviously, of 5 modern key books that I'm starting to really invest in. One of them is a late Bronze Age, but the majority of them are still pretty modern. But the late Bronze Age will be very significant to books, movies, and TV shows coming. So I want to remind people that I am doing the auction tonight. It's starting at 9 p.m. I put the information in the live chat right here. Some of the information, if you want to write it down, my PayPal address, Cash App, some of the shipping and handling costs, things like that. So come check out the live video starting at 9 p.m. Key thing, make sure you're using live chat and not top chat. If you don't know what that is, if you look where you're typing and you see all the comments that people leave live, you see in the top left-hand corner of that section, you'll see it'll either say live chat or top chat. If it says top chat, you're going to get more of a delay. So you want to switch it to live chat. I'll make sure I indicate that when I do the auction tonight. And again, 9 p.m. and that's Eastern time. But these are 5 unboxings that I want to show you guys. Books, some of them are reasonable. Some of them are going to be expensive, but you ain't seen nothing yet on some of these. So if you haven't purchased any of these, I would highly recommend getting them. Remember, when it comes to speculation, there are always risks involved, so please, if you see a book and you're like, oh, I want to get it, do not just go on eBay and buy the first one you see. Make sure you do your own research. Make sure you know how much these are selling for so you don't overpay. Use your brain and don't just jump right in, because you'll make a mistake and you won't be happy. And remember, there are no guarantees of success, so even if a movie or TV deal does come out, does not mean it doesn't change, doesn't mean that it's going to be something that people like. So if you cannot stomach possible failure, you may not want to invest in anything. So you have to have pretty much a strong stomach to be able to handle it. But if anything, if you collect them because you love them, then it really doesn't matter. So I'm going to, as usual, do the unboxings, tell you some of the significance of the book, and I, of course, unlike many channels, I will make sure I tell you the price I pay, because I think most people don't want their spouses to know how much money they're spending on comics. And to me, trust is a very important factor. So my wife knows all the things that I spend, because she knows that my comics bought me my car, bought us this house, and eventually I'm going to be selling the rest of my comics, the key stuff, to buy our forever home. So, honesty is the key. Alright, so, this one is a spec book. This is one some people may or may not know about. There has been a movie deal. Whether it happens or not, or whether it ends up it's good or not, that remains to be seen. But I always say, if you are going to invest in speculative comics, you want to try and get in early so you can basically save the most money and reduce the risk. Alright, so where's the opening? Alright, so there's more than one comic in here. Let me see. I think I got, yeah, there should be 3 copies. So they did package these securely. Looks good. So obviously I'm going to show you one, but I got 3 copies. This is definitely one worth checking out. One has a little tick on the bottom, but, you know, they didn't guarantee any 9/8, but the other 2 look good. This is Cult of Dracula #1. There is a movie deal that is coming out for this. Whether it happens or not, who knows? But this one is the 1 in 50 variant. It's a virgin variant that is the homage of Preacher #1. I always love that when they do homage covers. It's basically stealing somebody else's idea and just saying, oh yeah, we're paying homage. No, you're not. You're making money off of somebody else's idea. That's pretty much what it is. But there's a lot of different variants of this book, and I'll show others in the future. But this is one you might want to get in early. Again, this one I put first because it has the most risk, because there are no guarantees of success with this. Just because a movie deal or a TV deal is made does not mean it's followed through, but it's always better to get in early so you reduce the risk and you have also a greater reward. So I paid $32.92 each. I think that's not a bad price for 1 in 50 variants and the Virgin variant of it. So that's the first book you may want to take the chance on. Alright, this one, I have probably about 4 or 5 copies of these that I got the day they came out, but I do not have this version of them, and I will, of course, tell you about it. To me, this is a no-brainer comic, because this character, and they put a nice Whole Foods shopping bag in there, this character is going to be in a movie for the first time. Out of sight, out of mind. And one of the things, whether it's good or bad, I guess it depends on how you look at things, is there are so many different movies and comics and TV shows coming out that people, it's hard to focus on everything. So sometimes some of these books slip under the radar. And a lot of times people don't buy them until they become very expensive. I mean, just think of Edge of Spider-Verse 2 and Ultimate Fallout 4. I was telling people to get those back in 2016 when they were $10 to $12. When are people buying them? When they're $800 to $1,000. You know, that's people. So the idea is if you are a true investor and speculator, you want to go by the buy low and sell high. Well, what do most people do? Sell when things are dropping and buy when everybody wants it and the price keeps going up and up and up. That's not smart investing. So this book, the prices will be rising. The prices now are pretty cheap for this book. Most people that don't know how to speculate and invest properly will say, oh, I have plenty of time. And this person taped the living bejesus out of this. And that may be true for a little while, but, you know, think of it like a dam that's cracking. It may take years for that crack to do anything, because crack kills. But once the dam breaks and the flood happens, if you didn't move out of its way, it's going to move you, and not in a good way. So unfortunately, most people are reactors. And that is not the best way to invest. Alright, this guy or girl way overdid the tape. And that's one of my pet peeves, because you could potentially bend a comic trying to get it out. So they use that packing tape that you guys know I love oh so much. Alright, finally. I mean, I don't mind if it's secure, but if you're just taping it, I just want to make sure. Okay, so I got 4 copies of this. This is a book I highly recommend getting. This book you could get pretty cheap. I have 4 copies, but I'm only going to show you one, because it doesn't matter. Get this book. Amazing Spider-Man, number 365, but I got them in the newsstand variants. This is the first appearance of Spider-Man 2099, who has been confirmed to be in the next Sony Spider-Verse movie, and maybe beyond. I guess it depends on if they like him. And it does well. But to me, these are no-brainers. Deals are out there for these books because no one's paying attention to them. Why? Because they're fairly cheap. I paid $38 a piece for these books. These are 9.6 to 9.8 potentials. And of course, the hardest part with the grade to tell on these is, you know, sometimes there could be scratches on the hologram that you can't tell. But even at 9.6s, even if at 9.4s, I still made a good deal. These look pretty darn good. But if you can, get the newsstand variants, because modern books for newsstand variants are rarer in high grade. So the key is not to just get newsstands, on every comic you see, but you want newsstands in high grade, because if you have a newsstand copy of a book that's a 2.0, it defeats the purpose of it being a newsstand. The idea is to find the ones that are in high grade. Now, obviously, you buy what you can afford, but trust me when I say you want higher grade when it comes to those. So I think for that price, that's a no-brainer to me. And people will regret passing these up right now because, you know, what do you think happens the day they make the official announcement or they show the official trailer? The books almost nowadays almost double and quadruple overnight. So that's when most people are going to buy them. To me, that's ridiculous. It makes no sense. But to each their own. Alright, this is another must-have, in my opinion. Especially if you missed the boat on the first print. Because this book is, well, not this one, but it will be expensive. Because what happens is, when people can no longer afford the first appearance, they go for the second appearance, or maybe the origin, or maybe their first solo series in a comic. So there's a lot of different factors, and this one, to me, is another no-brainer. I'm getting as many copies as I can anytime I see some kind of semi-deal. This, of course, Ultimate Comics SpiderMan #1. This is still in the original bag, never been opened. This, of course, is the first solo Miles Morales story. We all know how hot he is at this point. I did a video just the other day on a book that I think is going to be a sleeper. A lot of people are going to pass up on that book. They may regret it someday, but that's all right. Everybody makes their own choice. This is another book that's getting up there. So because this one was still bagged, I paid $141.45 for this book. Some people will say that's too much. Some people that will say a good deal. But I do not base my speculation on what the current value of a book is now. I base it on what it will be or what it potentially will be. Miles Morales is the Millennials Spider-Man. This character is not going away anytime soon. And when he finally gets in the MCU, or at least in the Sonyverse, where they have a live action, I mean, unless they totally destroy the character, which these days, with all the progressiveness going on, I doubt they're going to do that, but you never know. This character is a modern Grail. So, of course, Ultimate Fallout 4 and Ultimate Fallout 4, the 1 in 25 variant, those are the Grails. But many people missed on those opportunities. This is the next best thing. Get this book while you can. You will not regret it, unless, of course, you overpay. But books like that, even if you overpay now, you'll end up making profit in the long run. But you have to be patient. Sometimes books take years. Like I said, when I was recommending Ultimate Fallout 4 first print back in 2016, it was about $20 to $30 book for the first 3 or 4 years. But I didn't worry about where it was. I was focusing on where it will be. And now that book, raw, good luck finding it for under $900. And even the second and third prints. I made the mistake of not investing a lot in the second and third prints because I'm old school. And back in the days, second prints were garbage. But those times have changed, and you got to change with the times. All right, so this one's a pretty expensive book, and they put it in an envelope. This is their idea of cardboard protection. So as long as the comic is okay, I don't care. But you know, that's why I always tell people when you order, especially on eBay, when you buy a book, don't just assume that the seller knows what they're doing or cares about what they're doing as far as packaging comics. Mention how you want it. Now that, of course, does not guarantee that you will get it the way you want. Completely remove tape, or tape could stick to the comic. That is very true. Okay, so this is a book I had, but because it wasn't worth much for a while, I gave it away in one of the mystery boxes. So somebody that ordered one of my mystery boxes has this book. But I probably got it for $1 back at the time. So I didn't buy this one for $1. And I'm going to put this in a new bag and board because they put it in that cheap backing board. It's not really a backing board. It's just a placeholder, basically. But I got this way below what is the current value. This is a nice-looking book. This looks like easily a 9.4 and up. So for the price I got for this these days, it's a steal. This is a must-have. This is the one that's late Bronze Age. Star Wars number 42. The first comic appearance of Boba Fett. So with the Mandalorian series, and they have confirmed there will be a season 3, there is going to be a Boba Fett series. So this book, you think it was hot before, it's going to get even hotter, unless of course they destroy and really mess it up. But they've been doing pretty good with the TV shows, you know, notwithstanding firing people for no reason other than being ridiculous. This book is easily going in high grade for $400 or $500 ungraded. I got this as a steal, and this is why I tell people all the time, and of course I'm going to tell you the price. And thank you to the 7 people. We have 7 people out of 37 that were kind enough to hit the like button. So the 7 people that have hit the like button, thank you so much for being kind. It helps my channel, so thank you for that. And it shows that you appreciate my work. So, now I totally lost my train of thought. Alright, see, that's what I get for changing in the middle of the sentence. But, this book is definitely a comic worth getting. I paid a total of $215 for this book. And I know what I was about to say. Many people will say, oh, I can't afford a book because it's too expensive. It's out of my price range. There's no way I can do it. You've sealed your own fate that way. Check newly listed books. Somebody listed this as a buy it now. And of course, the $215 is with shipping and handling costs. So I was one of those people. I will spend, when I have the time, hours refreshing every 10 seconds, if I have to, of newly added books. And every now and then, you get a steal. Somebody who doesn't know the value of a book, or just wants to sell it quickly to make some money, and knowing if you sell it below value, you'll sell it quick. There are deals always out there. So those of you who say, I can't, or it won't, or they have that droopy dog kind of mentality, don't be surprised. That's the reason why you don't find deals that people like me and others that don't think that way find. So this is easily, of course I'm going to have to open it up and look at it, but this is easily a 9.4 and higher. So for $215, this book is a steal, in my opinion, because I will be getting this one graded, and with the Boba Fett TV show coming, and a guaranteed Season 3 of The Mandalorian, where they said Boba Fett should still play some kind of role, this to me is a no-brainer of a book. You should be getting it, and look for deals. Like I've said all the time, whether people believe it or not, your reality is based on your thought process. So if you think you cannot succeed, well, you make that happen. You know, if somebody says, oh, I'll never win a race, you probably won't, because you're not going to put in the effort it takes to be able to potentially win. And if you don't enter the race, you've pretty much sealed your fate that what you thought would come true. And that's why people say, oh, see, I told you so. I always fail, and I always miss out, and I never get the good deals. Well, what a shocker. It's because you have that attitude, and believe me, it does affect how you do things. That's why they tell you, if you really want to succeed in life, they don't say put your head into it. What do they say? Put your heart into it. To me, a missed opportunity for somebody else is a found opportunity for somebody like me. Deals can always be found unless you're not looking for them. So if you have the mindset of, oh, I can't find them, you're not going to look for them. You're not going to put in the effort of somebody like me that will literally spend hours, and I'll find the deals and you won't. And that's why some people get so mad at me. Well, they should be mad at themselves, because if they don't want to put in the effort, don't be mad at the people that are willing to do it. Success is not always just sitting at home and winning the lottery. Alright, so this is a book that's getting very expensive It's going to need a press because they said it's about a 9.6. It's got a little quarter bend, but it does not break color. It's like really at the tip. So this, as of now, is a 9.4 to a 9.6 with a potential 9.8 with a right pressing. The good thing about me sending my books to PGX is they have in-house pressing. So this looks pretty good. So I got 2 of these the day they came out. I have several copies now. The price of this book has definitely gone up, but you ain't seen nothing yet. So the last book... Oh, and I'm the best that tried to say something really stupid, but I'm much smarter than him. That's why the comment's not showing. So, nice try. I'm the best. Unfortunately, you're not. You're definitely not the smartest. So anyway, last but not least, we have New Mutants 98, but this is a high grade 9.6 potential to 9.8 potential with the pressing newsstand variant. Now we know Deadpool 3 has been confirmed. I have a feeling that he will show up probably in an end credit scene or in another movie before a solo Deadpool 3 happens. So there are people that know that this book is expensive, but you ain't seen nothing yet. I paid $719.95 for this book, which 3 months ago would have been ridiculous, because a graded 9.8 was going for about $800. Adam says, do PGX books sell for as much as CGC typically? All right, I'm going to drop the truth bomb on many people, and I don't understand the logic behind some of the people in this community. CGC is number one, okay? I've said that before, I'll say it again. But they are not the end-all, do everything perfect. It depends on the book. If you look at my comic auctions that I've done, I have sold my PGX graded comics for the same price as books that were sold on eBay from CGC. It depends on how you market things. It depends on the comic. It depends on the desirability. It depends on timing. Anybody that says that certain things are always guaranteed has no clue how life works. So, is on average a CGC book going to sell more than a PGX book? It sure will. But if you're a good marketer, if you don't just say, like for example, if I was going to sell this, and I just said New Mutants 98, there's nothing special about it. And if I don't advertise it and I don't mention it, most people are not going to care. But if I put New Mutants 98, newsstand variant, hot book, first appearance Deadpool, new movie coming, and I make a video about it, and I start advertising about it and get the buzz going, people are going to send interest. So, in life, you get what you give. If you have the mindset of, well, everybody says this happened, so it must be true, well, again, you're making it true. So, if you look at the history of my videos, you will see I contradict what most people, like that hater, tried to do by saying this is how it always is. In an infinite universe with infinite possibilities, if you think there is only one way, you're going the wrong way. So, yes, PGX books can sell less and usually will, but I've shown that I can sell them at or even higher because it depends on how you market. If you put no effort, you get no reward. So, if you want to listen to the masses, which, like I've always said, the masses all believe that the world was flat because that's what they were told. So, most people don't do research. Most people don't understand how life really works. Most people just regurgitate what somebody else says. If you want to follow those people, by all means, please do. There's a reason why you only need one shepherd and one sheepdog to gather hundreds of sheep to their slaughter, because they will follow one another without question. If those are the people you want to associate with, because they seem to be popular, because people like me, like for example, there's been going around the top 50 and other kind of shout-out videos going around the internet, not one person ever picks me. Because I am not popular, because I go against what other popular channels do and say. But if you look at my track record, you can see over the years of the videos how many comics I've predicted to be true. I mean, how many people did I tell to get the Edge of Spider-Verse 2, Ultimate Fallout 4s back in the days that they're now worth thousands of dollars and they probably spent under 20? You know, look at my auction videos that I've done. I have PGX books, but they sold at what CGC is selling. So it depends on the person. So if you have the mindset of, oh, well, everybody says PGX will not sell, so it must be true, you will put no effort in, you're sending out the wrong message, and then you make that come true. I have proven time and time again I can do the opposite of what the naysayers will say, and all they can do is, like that ridiculous person that tried to leave the nasty comment, all they can do is just say, they can call me names. They cannot battle my facts. That's the world today. People do not battle facts with facts. They battle facts with insults. So if those are the wagons you want to hitch your horse to, don't be surprised that you fall off a cliff. So I don't care if every person in the internet world that watches this video says, Chris, you're absolutely ridiculous for spending basically $720 for this book. I will succeed because I trust my instincts. I know what I'm doing based on research. These books are going up, not down. And even if something seems expensive now, I don't care about now. I focus on later. So let me ask you all, the smart people in the live chat, when Deadpool enters officially into the MCU, do you think this book will be A, less desirable, B, will stay the same as it is today, or C, all of a sudden, everybody will want it? So when does everybody want something? When the price keeps going up. If you want to follow that advice because it's the more popular one, if you want to believe, and like I said, I watch several hundred videos, especially when they do the unboxings of graded books, whether it's PGX, CGC, or CBCS. There are plenty of channels, even ones that I don't subscribe to, because I like watching those videos. I see time and time again people getting CGC unboxings where they are devastated by the grades, they're unhappy with the service, they screwed them over somehow, shape, or form, but yet always give them a free pass and say, oh, well, I'll just keep doing it because they're the #1 seller. Well, that says to me that that person has no idea how to sell things, because you can sell ice cream to an Eskimo if you do things properly. You have to have integrity, have to have honesty, you have to have a good track record. Anybody that's bought from my auctions can safely say that everything arrives safely, quickly, and packaged well. I didn't send any manila envelopes. I made sure, even there was one mistake, because out of hundreds of emails that I was getting back and forth, there was one I misplaced where I didn't write down the payment for one. They contacted me. I said, well, I didn't get a payment. They said, I sent it. Said, just send me proof, no problem. They sent me the proof. I sent it out the next day, no problem. Sometimes mistakes happen, but it's what you do with it. But for some reason, this community gives a free pass to companies like CGC, no matter how many videos of people complaining about how wronged they were. That is not how you make a business better. And if somebody has the mindset of saying, well, I can only make money if I grade my book CGC, they have a mindset that does not expand beyond their limited focus. So again, if the book is key, if the book is desirable, if it's something where, with all these stimulus checks, people have the money, they will spend it. So if you want to believe all of the popular channels, many of which, well, I'm not going to go beyond that, because I am definitely not calling out any names. You can assume who I'm speaking about, and you know what happens when you assume, but I'm talking about dozens and dozens of comic book channels out there, big and small. They just regurgitate what everybody else says. If that's how the people you want to follow for your investment money, and you do not want to do your own research, and I'm talking in general, not anybody specifically, well, you get what you give. So this book will be graded by PGX when I decide when I want to send it. They are going to do the good service that they've always done for me. I'm going to wait until the movies come out, and I'll probably be able to sell this for probably between $1,500 and $2,000. And if it's $100 less than a CGC book, I don't care. To me, it's not about the money. It's about, I made some profit. I sold a book to somebody that's happy. That's how the world should be. Because like if you sold my last auctions, I sold the Hulk 180. That's crazy to do now, but I did it to help the community and it made a little bit of money. I sold the Giant Size X-Men #1 because I have several copies, so I didn't have to sell it. I already paid off my car. I did it because I want to help the community, and these people are very happy because they got them cheaper than what they would have paid on eBay. So you can believe whatever you want. If you want to follow the popular channels that say everything right, that tell you what you want to hear, who are not going to be 100% honest and say CGC is great, but they make mistakes, and be very careful and make sure you research. You know, if you want to follow a sheep to the slaughter, by all means, all the sheep are following each other. To me, be a shepherd, not a sheep. So I will have my PGX books. I will sell them at, or at least very near, what CGC will sell. And I have plenty of CGC books as well. So it depends on your effort. It depends on your mindset. It depends on your research. And it depends on sometimes just luck and timing. So you are limited to what you choose to do, believe, and feel. And if you let others influence you in a negative way, it's not their fault that you listened. So always take responsibility, not only for what you do, but what you don't do, and you will reach success. And that is why I'm not here for a popularity contest. My ego doesn't need to be filled with love from strangers that I'll never meet in my lifetime. Do I appreciate those that come here for the right reasons? 100% absolutely. But do I need them to constantly pat me on the back to validate what I do? No. And I'm not saying everybody else out there does that, but there are a few that seem to need that approval to make themselves feel warranted in life. Life is more important than comic books, or coins, or stamps, or action figures. Put your perspectives in the right way. Change your mindset, and you will always succeed. I am a person that has worked part-time since 2002. Been able to get a home, buy a car. I've had help along the way, of course. I couldn't have done it without my wife. But it's not like I have some $1 million trust fund. I didn't win the lottery. I don't have a job where I make $500,000, $400,000, $100,000 a year. But yet I still am able to get the things that I want because I don't let the world stop me from achieving. And success is not who has the most pieces of paper in their bank account. Success is being happy where you are and being confident in who you are, regardless what anybody else says or does. So if you want to believe what any channel says or what any group says because you want to fit in, that says more about you than it does the group. Because if you're willing to follow something that is wrong or something that goes against your belief system just because you are not strong enough to accept the torment you may receive for being alone, because like they say, it is lonely at the top, you have to work on yourself. I don't need to fit into a group to be validated. I don't need to join the CGC does nothing wrong bandwagon. I don't make videos to lie to people or mislead them or just give my belief. That's why I repeatedly say, do your research, make sure you verify, know what you're talking about. Do not just follow me blindly. And any channel that says this is what you need, this is what you have to do, this is how you have to think, this is the way it is is trying to convince you to join their way because they truly don't believe it, and they need all of the energy of everybody else to justify what they do. Everybody always justifies what they do, so it makes sense. That's why, even in comics, the bad guy usually does not think they're the bad guy, because they think they're doing right. It's all about perception. So, that's why I tend to be a lot deeper when it comes to videos than just saying, here's a comic, go buy it. Because I want you to think in a different way, and you will become a better person. If you spend your whole life following, you better hitch your wagon to the right cart. Because if you hitch yourself to the wrong wagon, you will find out that you have gone nowhere or gone in circles all of your life. And you can blame them, but you chose to follow them. Because they were popular, or that's what the masses do. So like I said, for hundreds, if not thousands of years, the church convinced the people that the world was flat. And if you went against that, you were more than ridiculed. You were imprisoned, and sometimes you were executed. They were wrong. Who invents and changes things in the world? Is it the masses of people that invent the newest thing? Who go the new idea? Or is it the one person or the small group of people that change the world? You know, you have a medical system for hundreds of years, and all of a sudden somebody discovers penicillin. Before that, they never used it. One person changes the world, not the masses. The masses just follow what everybody else does. Don't be a part of that unless you are not secure enough in yourself to be able to stand alone. And that's why most people follow, and that's why most people get angry. And that's why people like that troll that I will be blocking at the end, they can say nasty things because, you know, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to say something silly. But they will never be able to come at me with facts. They can make speculations. They can make, you know, hypothesis. They can draw conclusions. They can make assumptions. But they can't come at me with facts. By their deeds you shall know them. And to this day, I still have a bad reputation from people making up stories about me, making exaggerations about me, and just making claims that are just straight out false. I'm strong enough to be able to withstand all of that. And that's why I'm still going. So, if you want to succeed in life, you can follow everybody else and hope you're going in the right direction, or you can stand alone, do your own research, trust your own instincts, know what you're doing, and go for it 100%, and you will succeed. But remember, sometimes you will fall. You know, if you skydive, you're going to fall. The parachute saves you. The smart people wear the parachute. The smarter people make sure they know how to pack a parachute. The even smarter people know everything about a parachute. Don't just jump out of a plane and hope you're going to be okay. But it is exciting sometimes to fall, knowing that you're going to be safe. So that's my little sermon. What you do with it is up to you. You can thumb down the video until you're blue in the face. It will not stop me. It will not change me. It will not make me sad. There was a time back in 2017 where I cared about that garbage, and I shut down my original channel because of it. The very same people that were doing that to me then are still trying to do it to me now. The difference is I've changed. They're still the same. If you want to spend your life being angry at somebody else's success, that says more about the fact that you're afraid to succeed and you would rather bring somebody down instead of helping lift them up. So my channel is about lifting people up. What you do with it is up to you. So 22 people were awesome enough to hit the like button. Some people love my sermons. Some people roll their eyes. Some people will thumb it down. Do what you want to do. I do what I want to do. If you want to believe that PGX cannot sell, you'll probably be right. I've proven many times that I'm right, that I could sell them just as expensive as a CGC book. Depends on the effort you put in. So thanks for the question. Thanks for the comments. Don't forget to stick around until, well, later on at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, I will be doing my auction. Maybe I'll put in a PGX book just to prove my point. And if it doesn't sell, the beautiful thing is about the books that I have, like, for example, we had some trolls do some fake bidding, which now people have to pay for their first bid before they can make a second. So, you know, I can outsmart them, but, you know, it is what it is. But I think I'll find one of my key PGX books just to prove a point that I can sell it for at, if not more than, a CGC book. Because it depends on what you do. So, anyway, before I rant for another half hour, I want to thank you all for participating. Let me know what you thought about those books. Do you have them? Do you think they are good potential investments? And what do you think about the price I paid? We're going to do the surprise subscriber shout-outs. So we're going to go with Christopher Lawrence, who sends a nice positive message saying, what a great video. You are going to be our first surprise subscriber shout-out. The second will be Jensen Will. And yeah, Jensen, I'm glad you're here because I've responded to your emails twice now. I did get your second payment for the $590, so thank you for that. I don't read the comments usually when I'm ranting. So Jensen, if you're still here, I've actually responded to your emails twice. I guess you're not getting them. But yes, I got your second payment. And I'm not sure why you're not getting my responses. And Steve P., you're going to be the second surprise subscriber shout out. He says, Chris, do you not feel that it is a bit late to start buying New Mutants 98 given how much it's exploded? Not at all. People said the same thing when Ultimate Fallout 4 reached 100. Then it reached 200. Then it reached 500. Then it reached 1,000. If you believe... Here's what I'll tell you. If you believe it's too expensive, don't buy it. Because you'll be proven right. But like I keep saying, deals are always found. A 9.8 of New Mutants 98 is currently selling for about $2,500 to $3,000. This is a newsstand variant that I spent $719. If it comes back a 9.6 or a 9.8, I'm definitely going to make money. The idea is, if you go into investments with fear and doubt, you should not invest. Because you're not going to do what it takes. And I'm not trying to insult. I'm trying to be real with people. Most people fail, but will succeed every now and then and think they're a success. It's like playing blackjack. There are people like me who know everything about blackjack and how to play it. I used to teach people how to play blackjack for a living. Even if you do everything right, you're going to fail every now and then because that's just life. Not everything works the way you want it to. There are people who don't know anything about blackjack, don't want to research it, don't want to put in the effort, doesn't care that it's a team game if you want to win properly. And they'll just say, I'll just bet on, I'll split a 20. Or I'll double down on a 19 in hopes I get the 2 or a 3 card. Every now and then, they succeed. Think about average. If you fail more than you succeed, then you should not be investing, or you should change your way you are investing. Because even if you do everything wrong, every now and then, you're going to have a success. So if you base your success on that 1 or 2 times, and forget about the 20 to 50 times you failed, you're only hurting yourself. And that's why I can get my trolls and haters, every now and then, I'll make a prediction that does not happen. And they'll say, oh, see? He was wrong. Well, nobody is 100% right, but look at my track record. I've told people to get the Silk comic, Ultimate Fallout 4, Edge of Spider-Verse 2. I was telling people to get the first appearance of Ghost Rider, Marvel Spotlight 5. I mean, you could just look at all the videos that I've been telling people over the years. Every now and then, there's going to be some books that I miss the boat on. But my track record is I succeed much more than I fail. So you have to be honest with yourself. That's why I see people all the time on numerous channels. And again, I watch dozens and dozens, even ones I'm not subscribed to. Certain ones I refuse to ever watch, but I'm not going to mention who those are. There's some bigger channels out there that I just will not listen to because they are placaters. They tell you what you want to hear, and they won't give you 2 sides of the story. But I see all the time people with the wrong mindsets, or they only believe a certain way is possible. And for them, it might be true. Don't follow negativity. Unless you are a negative person. It's very easy to be negative. It's easier to destroy than it is to create. You know, to make a painting, or just to draw this. Many people have insulted Rob Liefeld's artwork. And yes, he may not be able to draw feet. But you know what? He's made a heck of a lot of money doing something he loves, even with people making fun of the fact that he cannot draw feet. So who gets the last laugh? The haters that can make a silly comment or make a ridiculous video insulting his one little flaw? Or do you think Rob Liefeld, who's made millions upon millions of dollars, has seen his characters that he created or stole, whatever you want to say about him, become movie icons and comic book icons? Who do you think has the last laugh? It's people like Rob Liefeld. So he was able to make a living drawing what he did and having fun. This is not easy to do, because if it was, everybody would do it. This takes time. It takes effort. Especially back in the days, in the Silver and Golden Age, where they didn't have computer screens to write everything. They had to do it by hand. It takes a talented individual to make this. You know what it takes for somebody to rip this book in half? A person with at least one hand. So, it takes a genius to create a masterpiece. It takes time. It takes effort. And it shows in the response. Because whether you like his artwork or not, you cannot dispute this is not a dollar book anymore. But any monkey can take that book and crumble it up, set it on fire, or rip it in two. It doesn't take talent. It doesn't take effort. It doesn't take brains, wisdom, intelligence, compassion, empathy to destroy somebody else's work. And there are people who will spend their lives trashing other people's masterpieces, complaining about how unfair life is. Well, what are you doing to make the world a better place? If you spend your life complaining about everything and spending no time fixing anything, what purpose are you serving? And I'm talking about anything in general. So if you're complaining about the world, or you're complaining about the prices of comics, or you're complaining about your loved one, or you're complaining about how cruel the world is, what are you doing to fix it? If you're doing nothing but complaining, okay, you're not doing anything to make it better. And there are people, because it's easier to do nothing but complain. And it's easier to hate somebody that puts in the effort and shows the rewards of their effort. Like I said, I'm no millionaire. I don't have thousands of dollars in my bank account. But I still will find a way to succeed the best I can using this and using this. Despite the uphill battle I have to continuously climb. So like I said, I have no haters. Like, for example, I was talking about some of those shout-out videos that are going out recently. I don't have any problem with anybody that's doing those and did not include me. But I think some people out there are afraid to include me because I have a bad stigma because of the rumors that people have said about me. And I'm not afraid to deal with it or talk with it. Many people say, oh, ignore people. Well, it's not ignoring that helps. It's how you react to it. My old way used to be to want to fight with them. Didn't get me anything but more negativity. But not for nothing, if you have a mosquito biting you and if you ignore it, you could die of malaria. So ignoring negativity and bad things is not always the best route. It's how you handle it. So that's my sermon, and like I said, once I get into a rant, I'll start going. Some people like it, some people want to vomit from it. If you're one of the people who wants to vomit from my sermons and you're here watching it, well, as Forrest Gump once said, stupid is as stupid does. So if you're going to be one of those people that watches something that you don't like from a person you can't stand, what does that say about your free time? So thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. I look forward to doing the sale tonight. And any book that ends up not being sold because some troll made some fake bids, the beautiful thing is somebody else will buy it. And probably buy it for a lot more, because I've already had that happen. So go with what everybody else tells you, because you could fit in and be more popular, even if it's the wrong thing. or stand your ground, be alone if you have to, because sometimes it's righteous to be alone. You know, even if you're a religious person, whether you believe in, and I'm not trying to get religious, but I'm using it as an example, whether Jesus, the story of the crucifixion, was a story or real, he and 2 disciples, so 3 people, stood alone to be beaten and executed while thousands of people watched. It's easier to be one of the people that watched. But you know what? Nobody remembers their names, and they did nothing to better the world. So again, whether that story is a story or it was a real live event, that's for you to decide. But the moral is, sometimes, in order to be the most righteous, you have to be willing to make the most sacrifice. Because it's easier to watch and be at a safe distance, but no one will ever remember who you are. And that's why those that hate me and have a problem with me know me. The ones that are the trolls, I have no idea who they are, nor do I care, and I guarantee you most of you don't know who they are either. So what does that say about them? The only way they can be included is if they jump in like a 3-year-old child who breaks a glass because they need attention, and they cry. Is that the person you want to be? So anyway, thank you so much for watching my video. I am actually going to leave this time. 29 of you were kind enough to hit the like button. I appreciate those that are kind enough to do that, because if I have 10,000 subscribers, and eventually I'll get there, and only 29 people out of my 10,000 liked it, I thank God, I thank Buddha, I thank baby Jesus, I thank the nearest cabbage I could find, that those 29 were kind enough to enjoy my little sermon. Thank you for watching. I'll see some of you tonight at the auction. I'll see the rest of you in the comment section. And I'll see some of you in my dreams. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. And don't forget, it is not you, it is not I. It is We Love Philosophy Lessons from a comic book seller.